Hi, this is Gil Cargill. Thanks so much for your interest in my presentation, 17 Growth Mistakes Entrepreneurs Make and How to Avoid Them. This presentation is based on over 4 decades of work that I've done with over 7,000 small to medium businesses, entrepreneur-driven businesses, wherein I train thousands of salespeople. I've also appeared on many keynote speeches, and as you can see, I've been featured on the cover of magazines, but it's all been about sales acceleration. My average client during this time has increased their top line by 36%, but they plateaued. I've found it very difficult, on average, to dramatically improve beyond that 36% top line improvement. And let's face it, most entrepreneurs would be very happy with a 36% year-to-year increase implemented in a matter of a few months as a result of my sales acceleration coaching. But you see, I wanted more than that for my clients. I found this plateau to be very frustrating. And as I started looking into the cause of it, I realized that there were operational blockages. The nickname that some of my client salespeople have actually applied is the sales prevention department. When salespeople get involved with customer issues, administrative issues, morale suffers, and the sales team actually creates situations that impact non-salespeople negatively. Let me explain how that works. As the sales team improves their top line, everyone works harder, but the administrative people don't get paid anymore, so they become frustrated and angry. I started realizing that the issue was one that needed to be impacted quite rapidly. So before I go into the 17 causes of this, I'd like you to answer this question. If you keep doing what you're doing, what will you look like in 5 years? As the owner or operator of a business, if you continue operating the way you're operating, what will your future look like? If you're not happy with that image, then stay tuned. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you the 17 issues that I've observed that you and I can fix together to eliminate that problem. Now, this is the image of a family that runs a business. They're out enjoying a vacation, and while they're off of work, while they're out enjoying themselves, their business is operating. You see, I define a business as an entity that will create wealth for its owners while they're away from the office. So this lady has built a business that supports her and her family very well, and her net worth, the family's net worth, is increasing in her absence. What would happen to your business were you to go away, let's say for 6 months? If you can't go to a foreign country and leave your cell phone and laptop here in the States and come back to a business that has grown, thrived, and put more money into your bank account and improved your net worth, then I would argue you don't have a business, you have a job. A job is what most owners and entrepreneurs have created. You see, a job is something that requires their attention 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As a matter of fact, most businesses stop growing when the entrepreneur realizes that they can't work any harder. That entrepreneur has failed to build systems. This entrepreneur has systems running her business while she's gone. My job, should you and I get together, would be to help you implement operational systems to overcome that blockage, that sales prevention department. But let's take a look at some of the other issues. It's widely known that 82% of all new businesses fail within their first 5 years. And 94% of those failures are due to poor management. And I'd ask you, how many hours of academic training do you have on how to be an entrepreneur? If you're like most entrepreneurs, the answer is pretty low. Other reasons that we find managers and owners of businesses frustrated is they fail to achieve their life goals. You see, the lack of those systems that I talked about, combined with poor management and lack of knowledge, creates a situation where the owner has to work very hard, indeed work overtime, in order to keep the business running. And that means the business is underperforming. So if you feel your business is underperforming, If your business is not complementing your life goals, if you don't see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, then we need to get together. And I'm offering everyone attending today's webinar a complimentary business MRI that will help you and I explore all of the issues within your business that need to be addressed. One of the biggest issues that we will surface is a concept called disengagement. Gallup recently published a study that showed that 74% of employees were at least partially disengaged, and that disengagement cost companies 18% of their salary dollars. RescueTime.com published a study that showed that the average white-collar worker is productive for 2 hours and 48 minutes per day. Now, I'm not saying that they're sitting at their laptop or their desktop shopping or surfing the web or looking at sports shows or what have you, but they aren't actively engaged in growing your business. And this is a symptom that is the output of having a lack of playbooks for each position on your team. If you haven't taken the time to document how everything should be done, I call it the right job at the right time in the right way, then you probably have some degree of disengagement occurring within your company. This disengagement leads to lost production and increased errors, and it forces people to juggle. That all translates into a negative impact on your P&L. When we work together, you and I will decide how to redeploy your people so that the right job is done at the right time, in the right way, by the right person. This will reduce your stress, increase your top and bottom line, and help you move towards that goal of having a business that creates wealth for you and your family regardless of how hard you work. Entrepreneurs, based on the 7,000 companies that I've worked with, tell me that they have gotten angry and frustrated when their business doesn't complement their life plan. Somewhere after 10 or 20 years of being a business owner, they realize that the business isn't helping them get to where they want to get to. And I can sum up all of these issues into a phrase that is on your screen. It's a lack of operating systems. Again, if you don't have a procedures manual, a policy manual to address everything that must be done within your company, you are actually creating a degree of chaos for yourself every time your company adds a new person or a replacement person. You see, each new headcount brings his or her own experience, his or her own habits to your company. So de facto, every new employee creates, at some degree, a new procedures manual, at least for their position and their portion of that work. If this sounds like your company, we really need to get that digital business MRI done so that we can explore what's keeping your business from achieving your goals. Entrepreneurs really have the frustration of not knowing what they don't know. Again, I blame that on the academic situation. There are very few universities that teach us how to be entrepreneurs. Michael Gerber summed it up in his book, The E-Myth, where he stated that people who have a talent to work within a business assume because they have that talent, they can run a business. The mechanic assumes that he can run a repair shop. He has the skill to fix cars, but no knowledge or skill on how to run a business. And that is a symptom that I call flying solo. You're learning on the job, and again, a lack of systems that are documented, repeatable, and measurable contribute to your failure. I know you have a good education under your belt, but if that education doesn't show you how to develop and deploy procedures and processes so the right man or woman does the right job in your company in the right way at the right time, then your education lets you down. So now let's tackle the 17 issues that I have identified that you can address and remedy as quickly as possible. Number one, entrepreneurs tend to overpay for underperformance. They assume that they can get and keep good talent because of a good paycheck. In reality, those people are working to get that pay. They're not working to help you grow your business. So I recommend tying a bonus or a commission to company performance. Let's build a team where everyone succeeds based on performance, not one or two people. And one of the things I've observed with the 7,000 companies I've coached is that you can't make an adult want to make more money than he or she wants to make. So even though you're willing to pay a lot, if they don't want a lot, you'll be frustrated because the incremental pay doesn't produce incremental activity, productivity, or even incremental engagement. This adds to your frustration. Another item that I've seen is the entrepreneur or owner who is a firefighter. They are waiting for the next fire, the next customer complaint, the next employee problem, the next lawsuit even. And they, in my opinion, achieve some sort of an adrenaline rush out of doing this. They get a thrill out of putting these fires out. And at some level, they may even brag to their subordinates of what a great firefighter they are. But the company won't work without that CEO showing up every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, at least mentally. The third issue that I see is the CEO who micromanages the company. He or she manages with lagging indicators. These are measurements that tell you what happened last week or last month or last quarter, but they don't tell you what's going to happen. The micromanager rarely grows the business beyond his or her personal wingspan. In other words, if the business gets to the point that they can't control it anymore, the business then starts to come out of control. And believe it or not, I've seen many entrepreneurs grow very well, but they've grown to the point where they're uncomfortable with their success. And in several cases that I've documented, the entrepreneur has shrunk the business back down to its beginnings because that's where they were most comfortable. And that's great. If the business isn't making you happy, why are you doing it? Cargill's Law. Number 4, not training the team. As I mentioned a moment ago, bringing new people in brings new processes, new procedures, new attitudes to every task within your company. So hiring more people actually creates more chaos. This is a function that isn't repeatable and consequently can't be scaled. It impacts profitability dramatically, and you're not working with leading indicators. The result is the CEO, the owner, is constantly surprised, which may feed into that firefighting syndrome that I talked about a moment ago. Number 5, hiring the wrong man or woman. If you hire a sales professional who is not going to work out for you, according to the Wall Street Journal, that person can impact your future revenue by $600,000. To avoid that, I encourage you to implement right now a pre-employment testing routine. I urge you to implement a probation period based on your state's HR rules and laws. Don't skip reference checks and don't have a onboarding process that is no more detailed than the coffee machines down the hall, the restrooms on the other hall, go out and get them, Bubba or Bubette. Make sure that you are really working with these people during their first 120 days. I recommend that they check in with you every Friday and let you know what they did in the previous week and what they're going to do next week. And these should be documented in your playbooks. Number 6, no unifying mission statement. I can't tell you how many companies I've gone into, and I've asked various employees of the companies, what does the company do? Why are you in business? What are you trying to accomplish? And the range of explanations I get is mind-boggling. If you don't have one unifying mission statement, everyone tends to do their own thing and they create their own goals, and it's a function of wild luck if those goals coincide with yours. Number 7, troubles converting strategy to action. You see, the entrepreneur who can't grow his or her business is the entrepreneur who views themselves as the head cook and chief bottle washer. I do everything around here. They have a very easy time creating strategy, but execution is hard because they have to get involved with everything. If that sounds like you, your future is going to be one of frustration, overwork, and lower satisfaction than I believe you deserve. Again, new employees bring old methods from their previous employers. So when it's one or two people, the owner or entrepreneur is really capable of controlling everything. But studies have shown that once you get to about 10 or 11 employees, one of them is out of control. The problem is you don't know which person is out of control. Peter Drucker, if I'm not mistaken, documented that in much of the work that he did. Number 8, do-it-yourself cash flow management. This is a great way for you to become surprised when bills are due, when cash doesn't come in, or when it does. No predictability. Again, if you get a rush out of these surprises, keep doing this. But you are building a business that is going to be very difficult to sell and to exit from profitably because your employees are used to this constant level of surprise. You can't plan if you don't have a cash flow management system that is predictable and profitable. One of the biggest issues that I see, and there's really no excuse for it in today's technology world, is no automated sales funnel. If you don't have an automated sales funnel, you are relying on the efforts of your salespeople to follow up on everybody. Now, most entrepreneurs have 20/20 input, visibility rather, on the input into the funnel. These are leads that are generated from your website or from whatever activities you have. And you have 20/20 visibility on the output from that funnel. But funnel blindness sets in the middle of the funnel. You don't know what's going on in there, and that's because you haven't automated the sales funnel. So you don't really know why opportunities that go in don't come out. They get postponed. The customers turn you down. This eliminates accountability on the part of your salespeople. It contributes to overpayment for underperformance on the salesperson's team. And the result is you may inadvertently invest more money in lead generation than you need to, because every lost lead, according to the Sales Lead Management Association, costs you $400. So if your leads aren't pursued at the level that you want, you're losing money. Now, to add to that, or to exacerbate it, other studies have shown that roughly 84 to 88% of business-to-business leads are not pursued adequately. You must follow up on every lead at least 7 times in the first year, more often than not in the first week or two. You should have constant contact with those leads so that you can stay on top of them. Number 10, and this is a big contributor to upset human beings. The owner, entrepreneur who does not have a life plan in place is the man or woman who will work very hard for decades only to wake up one morning and realize that they've been involved with years worth of self-sabotage. They build a business that they can't sell, or they can't sell it for what they think it's worth. They have a negative environment. Just being in their office is one that depresses people. The quality of life is not satisfactory. Now, I say that even though these businesses are producing a profit and their bankers are happy. The issue is, has the business made the owner happy? And if the owner isn't happy, then I have to say, let's change it. Because after all, we have total control over how we operate our business. Let's move on to number 11, lack of key predictive indicators, KPIs. Gang, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And what that results in, and whatever it is you're looking at, is going to manage you. Your P&L manages you. Your balance sheet manages you. Your sales forecast manages you. Your customers manage you. Your employees manage you. So you thought you were building a business, but all you've actually done is brought a lot of people into your life that are managing you by email, phone call, complaints, or whatever. Without KPIs, you can't see the future. So all you can do is react when you get to the future. This reactive management exacerbates your stress, your employees' stress, and it suppresses your profitability. I can't tell you how many times I've seen number 12 happen. Owners and entrepreneurs try new fads in marketing. They will try virtually anything once. Now the problem is, One and done never works, regardless of what strategy you select for your marketing. So I've heard so many times people say, hey, Gil, we tried that. It didn't work. And then I ask, how many times did you try it? How long did you try it? And I get minuscule numbers. Make sure that you, if you're going to get involved with marketing, recruit and hire a marketing firm that has testimonials and proof that they can produce the work in the volume that you'd like. In the 40 plus years that I've been doing this, I can't tell you how many marketing fads I've seen come along, and they evaporate just as fast as they come into the marketplace. But tragically, they take someone's money as they're coming and going. Number 13, grab your playbook. Now, I don't know if you played any sports, but every team I ever played for had a playbook for my position. The coach issued it at the beginning of the season. A playbook means you can repeat your activity. Playbooks mean that the activities can be scaled so you can hire more people. Playbooks allow you to have predictability and profitability, and they eliminate surprises. That business that I talked about at the beginning of our presentation has playbooks for every position. They have a playbook on how to answer the phone, how to unlock the front door, how to greet customers. Nothing is left up to surprises. As a result, the family that owns that business can go away for weeks and months and come back to an entity that has grown their net worth and has put more money into the bank. No centralized dashboard, and this is something I'm very proud of. Every one of my clients gets a centralized dashboard. This is a bit of technology that requires every employee in your company to update our system once a week, literally on Friday, for about 5 to 10 minutes per day. They're updating the system with the activities that they completed during the previous week. All of that data is aggregated and presented to you so that in a matter of seconds, you can see that everything is operating the way you want it to operate, or if something is a little bit off course, you'll be able to adjust course before it becomes critical. Number 15, managing by remote control. This is the pet phrase of the remote control manager. He or she says, how many times do I need to tell you how to do that? This leads to underperformance, poor morale, increased disengagement, decreased profitability, increased stress for the manager, and the manager will continue to do this. If you've taken the time to document a playbook that shows your employees exactly how they're supposed to handle every task within your company and within their purview, then there are no surprises. Without playbooks, there are lots of surprises. Number 16, this is something I've seen thousands of times. The entrepreneur gets a problem, and very much like a hand grenade, he pulls the problem and tosses the hand grenade to a subordinate and tells the subordinate to handle it. Well, inevitably, the hand grenade blows up. The owner then explodes. And the failure is documented by the owner saying something like, well, I would have never done it that way. Now, when the subordinate fails, their morale reduces and their engagement reduces. The error rate increases, profitability is impacted. So what we want to do is have procedures and systems that describe exactly how delegation should work. So let me sum up the 17 by saying the craziest thing I see is the entrepreneur working harder and harder and harder, hoping that by working more hours per day or per week, he or she can get the team to come along behind them. And that is exactly the worst thing you can do. Let's build procedures and systems so that you can then say in a very objective way, you are, to each employee, you are doing the work that I want you to do in the form and fashion that I want it done, and you're doing it consistently. Without that, the owner or entrepreneur is destined to work harder. Now, as I said at the beginning, I've got over 40 years of sales accelerating coaching under my belt, but I've recently become certified by an organization called Business Made Simple. They have hundreds and hundreds of the hours of training and literature designed to help me help you implement operating systems throughout your company. Very low cost implementation. And it now allows me to go beyond the sales arena and into what I've nicknamed the sales prevention arena and get the sales prevention organization optimized as much as the sales team. And that's when the owner or operator can take that long vacation that you deserve. I can help you eliminate your conundrum. The conundrum being you need good management, but you can't afford $200,000 or $300,000 a year to hire a good manager. So you settle for whatever you can get, or worse, you'll manage the team yourself. But you don't take the time to train that team. And again, training without a procedures manual or systems is a exercise in you making noise, not changing the behavior of an adult. Again, I've said this throughout my webinar today, that when you hire divergent people, you get divergent processes. You make the mistake as an owner of self-managing, attrition goes up, and lagging indicators become the thing that you manage to, and you make the mistake of accepting excuses. This then goes towards eliminating coaching and driving playbooks. We want to optimize time management. So my approach is something that you can benefit from if your revenue has plateaued. If your cycle is getting longer, orders getting smaller, if you're experiencing turnover and frustration, let's talk. The very first thing we'll do is implement my digital MRI. This is an online evaluation that would be completed by you, and it takes 15 or 20 minutes. But what it does is it takes organized best practices and presents a 66-page long action plan for you and for me to work with. We would then get together, review the action plan, and build a priority or sequence of activities that we will undertake to help you get to where you want to go. The business MRI is part of our offer, but you also will benefit from monthly group coaching, 33 business operating systems that we can take right off of the Business Made Simple website and implement within your company with all the tools, templates, videos, and training available. You'll have access to my sales training called Six Sigma Sales and sales management training. And more importantly, you'll have a one-on-one coaching session with me. Basically, we'll work together for 1 year, and I always work on a satisfaction guaranteed basis. Either you're satisfied with the results we produce, or we will continue to work until you are satisfied. But the goal is to create a repeatable, scalable process with predictable outcomes, where you have metrics that are being presented through a digital dashboard straight to your desktop every Monday morning, to get you and all the members of your team on the same page, to reinforce your culture and reduce surprises. Our satisfaction guarantee is no questions asked, but we do stipulate that you must work collaboratively with me to be qualified for the satisfaction guarantee. Our program is affordable for all. We produce very fast results, and we improve your morale. I want to help you have more fun in your business. I want you to make more money, and I want you to have less stress. So let me close by saying, if you keep doing what you're doing, what will you look like in 5 years? If you're not happy with that, then let's get together just as soon as possible. As always, I wish you good luck and good selling. This is Gil Cargill.